To me, that's the best. Look up how to make a Manhattan.
Well, I kind of more like did a coffee enema.
Speaking of impressive dump, what are you drinking?
Speaking of impressive dump, what am I drinking? Hold on, I just went and grabbed. Okay, so I poured. We're gonna have to talk about this eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I poured just for the sake of what we're doing. I poured a small amount of Blanton's, and we're gonna have to talk about this eventually. But yeah, I just a little bit of Blanton's.
Paul Blanton's?
All Blanton, yeah, it's water.
No, say Paul Blanton's. That's some Shoemaker talked about that at the PFYC. He said, "What's next? Christian whiskey?" Well, now Paul Blanton has whiskey.
Here's the funny thing, nailed it.
I have made a Midori martini.
Oh goodness!
What?
I said, oh goodness.
Yeah. But it's it doesn't use either of my two favorite ingredients. That is to say, when I went to the store to get. So for one thing, I had like $30 to spend on whiskey this week, and none of my super cheap whiskeys were there. Because they haven't had they didn't get a supply this week. But because they didn't get a supply this week, they also didn't have my favorite gin, Gilbey's, and they didn't have actual branded martini. So I got Bowls. I got Bowls melon liqueur. And it's Midori is Japanese muskmelon. This is made with honeydew. And then so now I got my a martini that is not my number one favorite, and a slightly different flavor of melon in the Midori, and it makes it very strange. It's still delicious, but it's not the drink I'm used to.
Yeah, I hate honeydews and I hate muskmelon. I'm okay with Midori though. I like Midori well enough.
I've actually never actually eaten muskmelon, but
I got to try it one time at Jungle Gyms.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that one time that we were there and they had durian?
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of in the same way. Like there was some little old lady like giving out samples of it. Muskmelon is very appropriately named. Just think about it, and then you've got the right idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's hard to find a fruit better than durian, isn't it? Like there are
Oh
definitely
my
fruits that
goodness!
taste better, but like it's nice and sweet. It's kind of garlicky. Like the flavor of it is good, and it smells like farts. Like
So
you
it
can't beat
smells
it.
like farts. It smells like farts. You say garlicky. The word that comes to mind is more. Imagine you're eating a giant hunk of like foot fungus.
To me, it tastes like sweet garlic. Is what it tastes like to me.
Sweet garlic.
Sweet
That
garlic.
probably is what foot fungus tastes like. So that's fine. No, there's nothing in the world I've ever put into my face that's worse than durian.
You think it tastes like toe jam? I think it tastes like Earl.
I genuinely fought to swallow that. Yeah, that was awful. You and Brooke both liked it, didn't you?
No, Brooke didn't really like it. No,
Brooke didn't like it. Brooke didn't like it. It's just you.
If Hannah was there that day, she did.
Hannah was there. I don't remember her liking it.
Because there was someone else who liked it besides me.
It had to have been Hannah then, because me and Ellie about vomited.
See, I thought the durian was pre-Ellie. No, it couldn't have been because Brooke was there. It couldn't have been. Yeah. So it was.
No, it was.
Yeah, it was our first post Ellie family trip there.
I believe so. Yeah, because Erin wasn't there because she broke her back. What a dweeb.
This was long after the. Was it not long after the back break?
It was decently long after the back break, but you forget how long she used that as an excuse to not do stuff.
Yeah, she's later. Hey, Aaron, you want to do this with us? I'm pregnant. Your kid is 4 years old.
It's a 4-year-old child. The same thing. But yeah, not to distract. Durian's awful. Please try it. You owe it to yourself to put it into your face, but don't don't expect to think it's good. It's awful.
I actually like the flavor of it, and the smell is hilarious.
The smell is hilarious. That's one of those foods that you kind of think, if I plug my nose, I might be able to get through it a little bit better. Because you think about how much smell affects taste. Um, that might be one that I could pull off if I wasn't smelling it, because the smell is absolutely interesting. But yeah, no way, awful. No redeeming qualities in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, so, anyways, we're talking about today, we're making fun of our wives making cocktails. Now, to save myself some room, to save myself some time in editing and trying to sync up everything and what we're saying, whatever, I'm just switching the recording scene from the podcast logo to the video.
Hey.
So, if you guys are listening on the podcast, you'll probably get the point across of what we have going on here. If you are getting if you're watching it on YouTube, you'll understand exactly what's going on because you'll be seeing the video.
Oh, that reminds me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I forgot. Have you looked at the video that I uploaded yet?
Not really. I listened to a couple seconds of it, but I haven't watched it.
No, and that's fine. I didn't think about this at the time, and I don't really know why. Because she said why she was wearing the shirt that she was wearing, and I was like, "Oh, that's perfect. That's appropriate." So she has a shirt that I bought her because I thought it was hilarious. It looks exactly like the Jameson's logo, but it's the ALF brand.
Okay.
And I didn't think about it because here's how ridiculously stupid I am. I didn't think about it because I went back and watched the video, and I didn't think anything about it because everything in it's backwards, and I just wasn't reading it, and I was doing 16 other things at the time. So technically, it's a mildly inappropriate shirt because it says "assholes live forever" on it, but it is backwards.
Okay.
So you all can kind of do with that whatever you want, but technically, you can't read anything inappropriate on it. Because it's backwards. But the reason why we picked this out is because it's meant to look just like the Jameson shirt, and she couldn't find anything else that was alcohol related shirt since we're making an alcoholic drink, because we're not dweebs and don't go around with shirts with logos of alcoholic brands on them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But at any rate, that's just a blurb before we start the next video, which we haven't even pulled up yet.
Yeah, so as you can see from since it's already up, from my wife, her shirt is just as funny, but in a completely different way.
In a completely different way. Yeah, because it's because free range, or because it's a cock.
Yes, it's not a cock, is it? But yes.
I guess it's not, the more I look at it.
Yeah.
The
more I look at it, the less like a cock it looks. I made a bracelet for Grandma.
Let's just turn on the video.
Okay. All right. This is the first episode of a new series here at Super Whiskey Bros.
Brooke has officially been doxxed.
We may or may not continue, depending on what you guys want to see and if they're willing to keep this going. But this is Wives Make Cocktails Part 1. My wife is going to be making some cocktails,
so hard on
and then
cocktails.
Tyler's wife is going to be making the same cocktails. Wives make cocktails.
Cocktails.
And we'll add these together, and we'll see whose wife is better at making cocktails. Okay. On our list today,
First I want to point out how unfair this is, me being a pregnant wife and making cocktails. That just sounds...
I didn't think about that. That does suck.
You make it, but you can't drink it. You can taste them.
I can taste them. I don't know. I might not.
Okay, so we're making 4 today, and they're all very simple. An old-fashioned, not a traditional old-fashioned. All I have is bourbon. I don't have any rye. So it's not. So some of these usually use rye. I have bourbon. Yeah, technically, all the whiskey drinks that I made, which we're gonna be skipping through. I just announced on the video that we were making 4, but we're gonna skip 2 of them, because Tyler's wife did not make the Manhattan or the Martini, and so we'll be skipping those. Which the Manhattan and Martini were numbers 1 and 3 on my video, so we'll be skipping through as soon as this intro talky bit is over.
Yeah, and for the record, the reason we made 2 instead of 4 is we were originally going to, if we, but honestly, I spaced out. This is my bad. But our plan was to just make 2 different videos because I was like, we're not going to make 4 drinks because there's no way I'm having 4 drinks tonight because I knew she wasn't going to like them very much. I'm like, I'm not going to have 4 drinks.
Yeah. Well, see, I'll tell you what I did when we did this. The Manhattan was not good the way that I told her to make it. Spoiler alert: it was kind of disgusting. I told her to make it wrong, and it turned out really bad because of it.
Oh, good.
I didn't grab sweet vermouth, which is what you're supposed to use. I grabbed extra dry vermouth. Completely changed the flavor of it. Was not good. And I had both. I have both types of vermouth. Well, I don't now. They're gone now. But I had both types of vermouth at the time of recording, and
You hacked up.
yeah, and it was my fault. It was disgusting. So what we did with the cocktails was, I pitched the Manhattan. I mixed the sour with the old fashioned and stuck that in the fridge. Then I took the martini in the room and drank that while watching TV, and I drank the Frankenstein drink the next day.
I thought kind of about maybe like putting them in plastic. I really haven't felt the best for over the past week. And so like I haven't really been drinking anything, which not that that's a problem. It's not like it's bad to not drink. But like I just haven't had anything because I just haven't felt very good. And so like the last drink that I had was one of those. And I was just like, I just don't feel all that great. So if I would have done that, I would have ended up wasting anyway. So, not trying to defend myself, just a blurb there. We should probably get into this video. We're talking so much. What is wrong with us?
So we're making an old fashioned, a Manhattan, a martini, and finally a whiskey sour. Okay, now skip a bit there, brother.
Skip ahead of it, brother.
Yeah, it would have been better, I think, with sweet vermouth and with rye instead of
Wow,
bourbon.
well done. Well done. Flawless.
This should be the old fashioned.
Just carefully reading the recipe. This is good.
So we have a mixing glass.
Almost like the same thing.
She got that right. Okay,
It's almost the same thing.
I don't know if you caught that or not. She just said it's almost the same thing. Looking at the old fashioned recipe after having made a Manhattan. An old fashioned, just traditional old fashioned, is whiskey, sugar, in our case simple syrup, and bitters. I see why she thought it was almost the same thing as far as mixing ingredients goes. However, so the Manhattan, the drink that she had just made that she said was almost the same thing, is whiskey, vermouth, and bitters.
Yeah.
And the other one was whiskey, sugar, and bitters. So
She's forgiven for saying that it looks like almost the same thing. I get it, but oh my goodness.
yeah.
They're so different.
2 ounces of bourbon. Losing my tools.
Just throwing this out there, using Maker's Mark for this. Maker's Mark is probably my favorite low-end whiskey. I'm a big fan. That and Four Roses. I love Four Roses.
Yeah, and they're great for mixing too. Like if you're making a drink, they're great for making a drink.
Yeah, my favorite bourbon's in the $20-$25 range. If I didn't cut off the top of the spout, just unscrew the lid.
Oh,
I can't remember if I cut off the top of the spout or not.
it's cut.
Okay.
How much is she about to put in here?
Half ounce.
Is that you sugar?
Is it a half ounce?
Yeah.
I prefer simple syrup,
okay.
but I have
Okay, so it was my fault on that. It should be a half ounce. I always make a rich simple syrup, which is double sugar. And so for with my syrup, it should be a 1/4 ounce. But I had forgotten about that until after I tasted it, and it was very sweet.
Right.
Now see,
Which is not the taste you're going for with this drink.
yeah. So actually, I'm going to pause this. Brooke has a huge advantage over this because I think Ellie's cocktail game may be higher than Brooke's, but since my cocktail game is so much higher than yours, Brooke has access to more things than what Ellie did, probably.
Not necessarily. I mean, I think we had everything that we needed because we do have things to make. I don't make drinks. I
Uh-huh.
just don't. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I either want like I will go have a beer from the fridge, or I will have like a finger and a half of whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that I drink. I don't make drinks. I just don't care. And then if Ellie ever goes to make a drink, she likes those white girl kind of drinks. So it's basically like get a cup out, pour a bunch of some random juice in it, and then add two other things that happen to maybe one of them has alcohol in them, and that's like what she makes for herself if she has a drink. So it's like we don't make cocktails.
Okay.
We just don't.
Do you still have any Gilbies?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this
I still
is
have your Gilbies.
perfect. This is the perfect for me. This is my absolute favorite go-to, like, if I really need to wind down and I feel that I could really use a drink to help me wind down at the end of after work. My absolute favorite go-to drink for that, and you need to try it, is you take a rocks glass and you put either 4 1-inch cubes or 1 2-inch cube, even though 4 1-inch cubes is still half the volume of a 2-inch cube. Because math. Either 4 1-inch cubes, you could go up to 6, but 4, or 1 2-inch cube, and then pour 4 ounces of Gilbies.
Good
and,
lord.
And that's it. So it's it's basically it's a double pour of Gilbies over ice, and the ice like pulls the oils out of it. It makes the Gilbies taste so good, and I like Gilbies anyway. But yeah, you need, if you don't feel that you need that much to wind down, which I'm fat, so I need a little bit more for my body mass to wind down. But
all I can think about is 4. If I had sat down, like I'm gonna have 4 ounces of Gilbies. No, I'd be wound down. I'd be awfully wound down.
yeah, you may like 2, but again, I'm fatter than you, so 4 like. I made it before. I've never drunk to drunkenness and never intentionally drunk to buzzness, and intentionally drinking that doesn't get me. As long as I've eaten that day, it doesn't get me to buzzness. It does nothing other than calm me down.
No, I would be way more than calm if I had 4 ounces of Gilbies. But keep going.
Yep.
Had it for a long time. Sugar cubes are easier than regular sugar and more fun, but simple syrup is the best.
And then you gotta smash them.
Gosh.
2 dashes of orange bitters. So again.
Is that orange bitters?
No.
Should have let her do it.
I should have let her do it. It wouldn't have been that bad of a drink.
I know what I'm doing.
Angostura
But what
so
dashes
fine.
on this? This doesn't dash.
Squirts.
Full squirt?
It's
It wasn't
squirts.
full squirt last time. Does it say how much is a dash? It doesn't. But it gives it in milliliters. I'm just gonna say whole squirts. Stir with ice.
Yeah, just grab the ice and use it to stir it.
With a twist of lemon. I'm gonna do the lemon first, so that doesn't like.
She's looking for directions.
melt.
And just imagine you're just stone faced
Yikes.
behind the camera, just like, yes, continue. Just do the thing.
I'm actually
I
not
don't know how to do
even
a
worse.
twist.
I'm smiling behind the camera.
Which I will confirm is terrifying.
Just don't do what I did.
What you did?
I cut halfway into my finger with a peeler. You don't
I've
remember
done
that?
I've done that with a cheese slicer.
I did that with my old cheap peeler.
It's so easy to do, too.
Ah!
What?
It got my eyeballs and I yelled, and that was Patrick, and he's not awake, but he might be. Shut up.
I didn't say anything.
How do you do this? It won't go. Lemons are soft.
In case you guys can't see, my wife is struggling to take a lemon peel.
Yeah. The absolute look of frustrated determination on her face.
Like, if you guys are
Leave that
listening to
there
this as
for
a
now.
podcast, turn it off and go to YouTube. Like seriously,
It is kind of funny.
Focus later.
We'll try to play it a little bit more. We're just staring at a drink right
Yeah,
now.
I'm not happy with the Manhattan as I told you to make it.
It's not my fault.
Not your fault.
That was Sean's way of being comforting, believe it or not.
yeah. So we'll see the fact that I
Ellie's
said
is
as I
better.
told you to make it.
It's not my fault.
Yeah.
Ellie's probably won't be better. I doubt Tyler has sweet vermouth at his house.
I do.
Unless he buys
Oh.
some just for this video, and I also doubt he has rum
I
at
did.
his house. Unless he buys some just for this video. So what Ellie makes for Tyler will probably taste exactly like this one.
How long do you stir something?
Less time than
Does
that.
it matter?
Usually
It
about
has
20
to
seconds.
matter. 20 seconds.
I never stir it that long. I hate it when it gets that much in there. It drives me insane. I don't like cold drinks. I just don't.
So for me, pause that. For me, the 20 seconds of stirring isn't for 20 seconds worth of chilling. It's for 20 seconds worth of dilution.
And I hate that even more.
I like
Ugh.
to have more volume in my mixed drinks. And now, if I just have whiskey, I don't want it to be diluted. I'll put a drop of water in it, not enough to dilute it, but enough to pull the oils out of it, to change the taste of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like my whiskey to be diluted, but I do like dilution in my cocktails, so they'll go further. That's the whole purpose for me of making a cocktail. Really, is to make my whiskey go further.
Have more drink. Yeah.
Use 2 ounces of whiskey to make 4 to 6 ounces of drink.
Seems like the ice should still be in there.
Yeah, you'd usually pour that over an ice cube, but I didn't say that. You can just take that ice cube and lower it down the same way you lowered down the. I didn't say that. You're right. I didn't say it. That's why I'm able to give you that hint, because I didn't say anything about it.
Oh, that was nice. Well done. What a pro move.
When telling you the instructions. There you go.
There's the twist on the lemon twist.
Good job remembering to express the lemon.
The lemon has been expressed.
Okay. Let's have a sip of the old
We
fashioned.
recorded our videos very differently, and I think I like the way you did yours much better.
Uh-huh.
I feel like a big dum dum.
Well,
Does it
there's
not
a reason
need to
for
see
it.
you tasting the thing?
Nah. That is really good. I forgot I made a rich simple syrup. I should have made it a quarter ounce instead of a half ounce. And keep that in mind when you make the sour. I said 3/4 ounce simple syrup. Cut it down to between a quarter and a half ounce. Okay?
She has been reminded.
Yep.
If you nail this again, I'll be so impressed.
I didn't.
Okay. Okay.
Gilby's gin. The gin that I didn't have at the store.
Okay, this is the
Yeah, that's my
tasting of
favorite
the
gin.
martini.
Sour.
There we go.
A whiskey sour. What?
I'm not good at stirring these things.
That was half the battle right there, just knowing the pop.
It's very easy to take.
Wait.
She learns that it's very easy to take apart when it's not sealed by the chill.
This is true. This
As
is
soon
true.
as it's sealed by the chill, it's a different game.
Good at this. Not good at this part. 2 ounces of bourbon.
And remember, when you add the simple syrup, it's a fat quarter ounce, not 3/4 ounce.
Yeah.
Fat quarter.
That's for
Fat
regular
quarter.
simple syrup. I forgot I made a double syrup.
I did it.
The drink has been applied.
2 shots of vodka.
And yeah,
3 shots of vodka.
not 3/4.
Yeah, a fat quarter. Not a fat quarter, not a quarter.
So just bigger than a quarter.
Bigger than a quarter, yeah. But not a half.
Yeah.
Or if you prefer, a quarter ounce and then a bar spoon.
3/8.
That's easier for you. Would that be easier for you?
Nope.
Okay.
It's like, absolutely not. What's wrong with you?
Because
A quarter ounce of simple.
as luck would have it, my My bar spoon is exactly 1/8 of an ounce by volume.
Oh,
Fat quarter.
I think maybe a 1/16 ounce, but I think it's 1/8.
I don't know. I've never measured my bar spoon.
Lemon juice.
I think it's about 5 inches long.
Oh, mine's way longer.
I might have a longer one too. We have two of them.
Thing?
3/4 ounce.
Oh.
Depends on the lemon.
Well-
You'll want to juice it over the jigger.
My shortest bar spoon is 12 inches.
Before we get canceled, I just want to clarify for anyone listening.
Approximately.
Sean said jigger.
Usually, depending on the lemon, it's approximately the juice of half a lemon.
It is the actual name of an actual tool.
I'll go ahead and let.
Calm down.
If you guys prefer, if it makes it better for you guys, we can in the future say jigga.
Let you know that. A lemon will have 1.5 to 2 ounces of juice in, depending on how you squeeze it. So it's approximately the juice of half a lemon. Will get you your needed
And boy, is it
3/4
needed.
ounce. And if you juice the whole half lemon and it gets you above 3/4 ounce, I'll allow it. Okay.
Oh, she's already hecked up the juicing a little bit. This is difficult to do, though. That is not someone peeing.
I wish.
It is not enough.
It's not enough?
No.
Okay, rotate
It's
it around in there a
not
little bit and
enough.
squeeze it some more. Is it just barely
beyond
on
my
enough?
reach.
Or is it not even close?
I don't know. It would, I mean, there's like...
One of the
That's
greatest
ways
sound
to
bites
go.
minigame ever, by the way.
Ugh. No!
So you guys didn't see that on the, if you're listening to the audio. So she didn't even notice when it happened, but she came this close to knocking over the
The drink.
the drink that already had like bourbon in it, and
Yeah, that's
Is it
what we
closer?
call being
It is
wasteful.
pretty...
yeah, it only. I think the only reason why it didn't topple over, and it's also the reason why it didn't technically come that close to toppling over, is just by dumb luck. I didn't even mean to pick this one when I got out the stuff for it, but I happened to get my weighted shaker, so there's a heavy weight in the bottom of it, and that's what kept it from falling over. Just there.
Stupendous.
Pretty close, yes.
Okay.
She is going to get every last drop out of this lemon.
Yeah, no doubt. That's no lemon has ever been as juiced as this lemon.
No lemon expects the Spanish Inquisition.
This is true.
It is very, very close, though. Like, the bubbles touch the line, but the actual juice does not.
Let's see what's in there. That is close enough.
That is, yeah. I would. There's
I
no
would
way
say
that would
juice
make a
the other
difference.
half, but that's close enough.
I'm sticky.
I was just about to
From
say,
the syrup?
juice the other lemon and get to it, and it was literally right there.
But you're pretty.
Like there's literally another lemon, but
Shake with ice.
Shake with ice.
That's it? Yeah.
Sometimes an egg white is added. That's not necessarily traditional, and I didn't put that on the recipe.
Okay.
I referenced that you were going to be annoyed that we didn't put an egg white in ours.
Yeah, it's me personally. I like the egg white, but I'm sticking to the traditional recipe, which the egg white is a bit more modern of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's see. So Brooke remembers by dumb luck. I didn't remind her, but she remembers by dumb luck Dave Arnold's chilling and dilution scientific findings. And I'm curious to know if I'm curious to know if Ellie remembered the same things.
You're just going to
Shake
be.
with
I'm
ice.
sure she has no clue. You're just going to be chuckling through most of the video.
I don't know
Okay.
what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
This is hardly fair because I was just talking to you yesterday about what Dave Arnold said about shaking with ice. Would you have remembered if I hadn't had that conversation with you yesterday?
Yeah.
Would
She's
you?
like, obviously, you big dum dum.
Of course I would have.
Me and Dave Arnold were besties.
Yeah. Now, the mistake that Brooke made here, and actually I never even told her later that it was a mistake, and I should have, and that is, you do put your ice in the big shaker tin, but you assemble the drink in the small shaker tin and then pour the small into the big. I was not going to tell her that beforehand, because where's the fun in that? But,
Exactly.
But I did forget to tell her after this, so if she ever goes to make another shake and drink, she'll probably do the same thing she just did, which is use the ice cubes to throw the drink everywhere.
Okay.
But do you know how to use Dave Arnold's recommendation? You know what it is, but do you know how to do it?
I know how to smash a cube. I don't know that I'm good at it, but I've seen it done.
Who have you seen do it?
She accidentally says something really funny here. So she references Greg from How to Drink. The man has brown hair. It's important to know that the white man from New Jersey, Greg from How to Drink, has brown hair.
One of the whitest people you can imagine.
The guy, redhead guy with the beard, and the brown guy with the beard.
The brown guy with the beard.
The brown guy.
Oh, Brooklyn.
The brown-haired guy with the beard.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say me.
Have I think I've seen you do
You've
it.
seen me do it a lot. In fact, I think you've seen me do it more than you've seen Greg do it.
Greg, which one is he?
How to Drink. Not Steve the bartender, not the Australian
Okay.
guy.
So not the redhead.
The brown guy.
The brown guy.
The brown guy. It's the brown guy.
By brown guy, we mean the super white guy from New Jersey.
In case anyone was curious. There's Sean's phone being obnoxiously loud.
So she said before that she knows how to make a cracked cube, but she doesn't know she's good at it. The answer is she isn't.
This is fun to watch.
Do you know who you remind me of making cocktails?
No. Yes, you tell me all the time.
Brianna from
That
Whiskey Tribe.
Whatever chick.
The whatever chick. Yeah, women. I know women love being compared to other women.
No, every time Brooke, like because it was so funny because Brooke has made drinks before, and when she's doing stuff that she's not comfortable with doing, she has a way of talking, and she'll say things that are like nervously funny.
Yeah.
And then on the Whiskey Tribe, there's a girl. If you've ever watched the Whiskey Tribe, but there's a few episodes where they had this girl make cocktails for them, and like she's nervously funny through the whole thing, and so she's like intentionally putting on a character, like adopting an accent, just so that way if she messes up, everyone will just say, "Oh, she's being funny," and it sounds like. It doesn't sound like it. The girl doesn't look like Brooke. Her voice doesn't sound like Brooke. In the moment, their mannerisms are identical, and it's hilarious to me watching this other girl make cocktails and say, "Wow, that's exactly what Brooke would be doing."
Nailed it.
I'm just. Maybe it's just for girls.
Every fiber of my being wants this to splash everywhere. Okay.
Speaking of the one guy.
It's actually one of the reasons why I didn't put an egg white in, because the egg white it aerates and it generates gases, and it kind of I would have if you did an egg white I would have done it right, and I would have had her dry shake it. And when you dry shake with an egg white, if you don't really hold it together, you will splash it everywhere.
Delicious.
But she got mad at me if I told her to do something that would cause her to splash it everywhere.
Which is fair.
Okay. It sounds funny. No!
Give me a separate. Oh, you're getting it. There you go.
The sheer panic.
It's stuck forever.
This one? No. I want this one because it's better.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't have a.
She's terrified.
Baby.
No, we heard Patrick making sounds.
The baby ruins everything. I think you can hear Arlie in mine because she refused to stay asleep that evening. It is what it is. Okay.
I even know how that I knew that
It
I
looks
should
sour.
stop shaking it.
How's that?
Because the thing was frosty.
That was actually condensation, not frost.
Actually.
Well, it turned white and was cold.
Yeah.
You can
Now-
you can shake these till they're frosty, and it's really cool because you can like scratch off the frost and lick it off your fingers.
Gross.
If you want, you can put that martini cube in there to fill up the volume of the glass, but you don't have to do that. That's just the glass is just too large for the cocktail. Yeah.
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 See how that's a better.
It's pretty.
Okay.
Now let's taste the sour.
Another drink.
Delicious.
Okay, so that was something said at the end. I forget, so I'll let it play through. But she made a fairly well perfect sour. It was fantastic.
Okay, I'm gonna put this ice cube back. I'm done, right?
Yep.
Done?
And these are the cocktails as made by my wife.
That's a good shot.
Ignore this martini and this Manhattan.
Don't ignore them. Just stare at them.
Brooke,
Yeah.
you did a fantastic job.
I did a fantastic job.
Oh.
She's reassured herself.
If we go back here to the cocktails,
And these are
if you notice, there's a skewer on the table right here, and nothing garnishing this Manhattan.
Yes.
I told her that she did well on the Manhattan, and it was my recipe that was bad, which is true. And she asked if, for a reward for making a good Manhattan, if she could eat the cherry off of the skewer. So that's why this one is not garnished, and there's just a random skewer on the table.
Mightn't I, the cherry.
Mightn't I, the cherry? Okay. So.
Oh, look, it's my stupid face. Click on
Yeah,
that.
it's Tyler's stupid face. So, I really don't know whose is going to turn out better. Oh, good. I love vertical videos.
Well, this is what I was saying. I thought long and hard about how we should do this. I couldn't get it to sit anywhere right to be a normal horizontal, nice looking video. And then I was like, well, maybe I should record it and I can just walk around. But like she said, well, shouldn't we both be in it? And I was like, you know what? I should ask Sean what he did so we can make them the same. But instead, I'm just going to do it this way. So, sorry, everyone. I know vertical videos are the worst.
Yeah, that's fine. That said, though, I really don't know whose is going to be better, right? Because I know Brooke is a much more meticulous person than Ellie is. And so she's much more likely to follow a recipe and make a good drink that way. But Ellie, I'm sure, has more alcohol experience than Brooke does.
So here's the thing. Not in this area at all.
Okay.
And to go beyond that, Ellie, especially when it comes to the way that she makes anything food-wise. So if, like, cleaning things up, she'll be meticulous about a lot of things. But, like, the way she makes drinks the same way that she makes her food, which is just, like, there's a recipe, and we acknowledge that. And we can read it. But also, like, it's kind of, she's also more just like, yeah, like, we'll just go. Yeah, like, because that's what she does with, like, spices with cooking. Like, it says this much salt. She's like, but I want this much. So you'll see. Just play the video.
Okay, so it's out there. For me, recipes are to be followed to a T unless you know what you're doing and changing them. They're to be followed to a T for anything that is more chemistry than food. So for cocktails and for baking.
I was about to say cocktails and baking. It's got to be spot on.
Yeah, unless you know exactly what you're doing and changing them, or you know what your changes will do. For cooking, do whatever you want.
Yeah, and that's how she cooks. So it's how she makes everything else. So the button.
Yep.
So today I'm making Ellie made me drinks. Sean and Brooke made him drinks. That's not a sentence. So which ones are we doing? Which ones are we doing today? It is
perfect old fashioned.
It's perfect. What's the other one?
And the whiskey sour.
Okay. Now, have you looked up a recipe for how to make a whiskey sour yet?
Not made it that far.
Okay.
But I can do that very quickly.
You're gonna disappoint Sean when you make this. because Sean always ends up putting like an egg white in his. It's kind of gross.
So you get salmonella.
Salmonella.
No, the 40% alcohol takes care of that.
I wasn't going to spend time explaining it.
Also, we wouldn't have had to worry about that anyway, because we get straight from the chicken to the house is where our
We
eggs
get
come
straight from here to
Straight-
the house,
straight
so
from-
salmonella.
Yeah, straight. Our eggs come straight from the chicken. Your eggs come straight from the Walmart.
Walmart.
I promise you that's one's going to have an egg white in it.
Okay. It doesn't. But I do have maraschino cherries, half an orange slice, and fresh.
Did I take my Luxardo cherries back from you?
I don't know the answer to that.
Because
You had to because I don't have them here.
okay, I'll say because if I didn't, those would be perfect for this.
You'll just watch and enjoy. You'll hate it.
Okay.
Lemon juice.
We're purposely starting this video only slightly prepared. So, Ellie is also wearing a shirt that's almost a Jameson whiskey shirt. It seemed appropriate. So this is the only thing we care about sharing for that, to show you which whiskey it is, because everything else is insignificant.
Did you catch that?
It was backwards. I saw it was a Woodford's, but
It's
anything special about it?
it's slightly different. So that's the Woodford's double oaked.
Okay.
Disclaimer: I forgot that I hate this whiskey.
Oh, perfect.
So yeah, you'll figure it out.
I never had a Woodford's that I hated. I've had some that were my favorite, but
I'll clarify. It's fine. I don't hate it. That was too strong. I don't care for it. I would never go out and buy it, except for the time that I went out and bought it.
my liquor store is like sponsored by Woodford's, so they have like 6 different kinds of it. The only bitters they sell are Woodford's bitters. They don't even sell Luxardo cherries; they sell Woodford's cherries.
Which aren't that great, to be honest. They're fine, but they're not great.
Depends on what you use them for. I prefer
Also-
Luxardo for most things, but if I actually were just going to reach in and eat one, I'd probably prefer the Woodford's.
Not to mention the Woodford. They're wildly expensive. But anyways, we're rolling.
Lemon juice. That's not for. Please tell me that's for the second drink.
Yeah, I was trying to say.
Oh, that would have been so gross.
Okay.
I genuinely thought she was going to put the lemon juice in the
I haven't made it that
old
way.
fashioned.
No, we never did.
Well, that said, though, it just would have made the old fashioned the sour,
Yeah,
because that's really the only real difference in ingredients.
yeah.
The old fashioned is a stirred drink without lemon, and it was a bitters, stirred, no lemon, and the sour is shaken, no bitters, lemon. So they're very similar drinks as far as which one would you put the lemon in. You just make the other drink.
I don't know. I don't know what you're looking for.
I pretended that the lid of that thing was my pee-pee.
What bag is that?
Not crown.
Speaking of which, I noticed that you're wearing gray sweatpants, and there's still just a straight flat line going down.
I don't like to brag.
There's you could have at least put a sock in there.
I did. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's the Blanton's one. Hey, no!
That was me yelling at a dog, by the way.
Oh.
And there's...
Booty.
Yeah, we did get interrupted by a baby for a second, but you guys can deal with it. It's fine.
Alright.
So I asked her before the video to make sure she was showing everything that she was doing. So she kind of did,
One shot.
but that is a double.
Okay. Now, I'll say this too. I don't have to check the box that says, "Does this video feature children?" In the thing, because Arlie
did not
wasn't-
feature
Yeah,
them.
Arlie wasn't featured. She was in the background.
Yeah, she merely ran behind me for a second.
One shot. Not an accurate measurement. One shot.
I'm just making fun of her
1.5
there.
ounces, no.
Yeah. What is that? Was that 1.5 ounces on that? What's your jigger go? 1 ounce, 1.5, or 1 ounce and 2? It looks pretty small for a 2. So is it 1 and 1.5?
It's 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Okay.
No, one shot.
Give a shit.
Oh, I see. Because I have one that's done in this same style as yours. The 2 ounces is a lot longer, but it's also a lot skinnier. So never mind. It is. It could be. It could easily be 2.
I'm gonna have enough for the next one.
We have more than one kind of whiskey now, so it'll be fine. Shoo!
This will be yours.
Yes, it will. So,
Orange bitters.
I don't know, we're doing orange bitters, and that's the one that we have, so that's what we're using either way, but I wonder if that's even the right thing to do there.
As much as you want.
That, it is approximately...
The amount that I usually add, I add more than what most recipes would call for. I like to add 3 dashes of orange bitters to.
That was maybe a full dash.
Yeah.
3 arm shakes worth. 3 of these.
Simple syrup. I don't know.
That much.
1 squeeze or so.
A squeeze.
Very hard to tell how much went in there.
Yes, she is shaking it.
She's shaking an old fashioned.
She's shaking old fashioned. With definitely not enough bitters and honestly not really enough simple syrup.
And shaken.
Just keep playing. Just keep playing.
Her shirt's beginning to make sense.
Yes. Sticky stuff all over my glass there. Okay. So your decision to shake that in ice instead of pouring it over ice. Okay.
That way the big stupid cube doesn't hit you in the face
Did you see how cloudy that was?
I was there.
every time.
Okay. I don't usually lean that hard into my drink, but I appreciate the thought.
I do.
Okay, yep. So she did something right, very right here. I don't see. I didn't get the chance to because I didn't have an orange. With an orange, an orange twist is really a really good thing to have in an old fashioned. But I didn't have
Well,
the
watch.
oranges.
Wait till you see what she does with it.
I have to edit the middle of this out.
Okay, she remembered to express it. That's
There's a
good.
child in it, and there's something that just feels wrong about that. Oh, fancy. Just leave it on the side. Perfect. What are you shaking it out for?
We're flapping it.
Okay, so I don't have a problem with what she did. The obvious, like, so rubbing the oils off on the glass. Since at that point she's already expressed the orange into the glass, she's not really wasting oils. That may actually add some aromatic orange to the drink. I actually don't have a problem with her actually rimming the glass with the orange oils.
The only reason why I'm glad you stopped to say that is because it was the perfect freeze frame.
Yeah. She looks like Cousin Judy in this freeze frame.
Ease.
There you go. Now it's in it.
So this is it. It's done.
Yeah.
I'm not being a jerk. I'm just asking, making sure. Okay. So this is what it looks like.
Harley, get out of the dog bowl.
Don't have kids.
No, you didn't.
Now you understand why we're the Whiskey Bros.
Is it cracked?
It's true.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so that's really probably most of the off flavors from that really came more from shaking really than anything else, because the rest of it you can kind of play with a little bit, but this is not a drink that tastes good aerated. You don't want to shake it. It's that's actually so typically speaking, and you know this, but for the people watching who don't, typically speaking, you only want to shake drinks that have stuff that need to be viciously aerated, like an egg white to make it foamy, or something that really needs to be hard integrated, like fruit juices. So you shake fruit juices and things that need to be aerated. There are a few other times when you shake, but for the most part, if you're just taking ingredients and combining them together, you want to stir the drink. and it's for reasons like this.
All right, we're only halfway through.
Kinda, yeah. Kinda. It's kinda crap.
It needs more of something.
Need more of something. Okay, so we did not put enough orange bitters in there. Is the decision apparently?
Now we have more than 3 dashes.
Yeah, now we have 4 dashes.
Yes, that's bar. That's how. Yeah, bartenders usually they lick their finger and then put it back in if it's not stirred up good enough. They always double dip with the stirring.
Is Ellie not a huge fan of the drink?
No,
Okay, just curious.
she hates it.
Yeah, that's a little bit more like one. Yeah. Don't put more of that in there. If that's what you're about to do.
Why?
It doesn't need to be sweeter.
Alright, well, it's clearly not my drink.
Well, technically, neither is this one you're about to make for yourself because you're not going to like it. But that's okay. We didn't even get different ice cubes. Those are the same ice cubes. That's part of how you make the right whiskey sour.
So this is funny, very very funny to me, because I am specifically said to Brooke, which you didn't. This wasn't in the video because it was after making the Manhattan. I said, now make sure you pitch the ice in between every cocktail because we don't want any ingredient overlap.
Correct.
When you put in physical labor to get your ice cubes
Yeah, I did.
from a tray. No thanks.
All right, now
We have
pause it here
machine
for a
trays.
second.
I feel like
Yep.
We need to get through the video decently quickly because we're over time,
Yep.
and I need you to just watch all the way through.
Okay.
This is important to me.
Okay. No more pauses. Okay. I won't say
Until you have to. If you feel like you've got to, I understand, but it's important to me that you just watch this all the way through.
I'll watch it straight through, and I'll even be quiet until you say, "Okay, pause."
Okay.
Okay.
You've been holding out on me.
Alright. Whiskey. I'm only gonna do one shot.
You're only gonna do one shot because we don't have very much whiskey left in this bottle.
Yeah, and I might end up drinking this one if I make it.
And we do not want that much whiskey.
Okay, well, half
Nice.
That's cool.
Nice.
Well, this is gonna end up being a double now because I'm just gonna use the rest of it. Almost a double.
It's all well. Technically, by the time you get all that in there, it'll be a double because you spilled about that much out of the first one.
That's true.
Also, if we waste this, that's okay because I'm gonna be honest. I don't like this.
What?
Yeah.
Woodford's?
No, I love Woodford's. This specific
The double oak?
specific one, the double oaked one is just.
I thought you liked it.
I thought I did too when I first tried it, and then I sat
Alright.
there and had some more, and I was like, absolutely not.
There's my dog's butthole.
So it's been retired.
Fresh lemon juice.
Freshly opened lemon juice.
Not even that.
How much was that for the lemon juice?
A solid squirt.
A solid squirt. I'm giving no tips for either of these, by the way. It's the important thing to remember here.
Solid squirt of that. This one's gonna be sweet.
A solid. That was a very solid
I'm not
squirt of
screwing
simple
around.
syrup. Whoa.
Alright, I'm gonna put some cherry juice in it.
Okay. Is that part of the recipe you're using, by the way?
It's to garnish it, but
To
I'm gonna put some in it,
juice? Arlie, get out of the dog water.
some juice in it,
Get out of it.
and then
That could actually be really good.
Some juice in it.
I'm gonna add.
Yeah, I thought it was a good idea. I will say that.
I probably shouldn't have done that because I wasn't in the drink.
I'm sorry. I do need to pause. I said I wasn't going to. I'll pause. I actually did make a drink that involved all this. It was lemon juice, some cherry syrup that I made, and some other stuff. And it was one of my favorite drinks I've ever made. But it involved some blackstrap rum and Gilby's gin were the boozes in that, and it was very, very good. It was the Guybrush Threepwood.
And I will say, having had that, it is good. And also, gin and rum would be better for what this drink was.
Yep. I think a rye would make a better cherry lemonade. Or vodka.
Essentially.
Vodka would be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, they can probably.
Now I gotta fish it out. Put it in the glass.
And now we are stirring the sour.
There you go. There it is. Alright. I hate whiskey.
Before We shake it.
Shaking. I had to get out of camera frame to stop a small child from drinking the dog's water. Again, don't have kids, part 2.
Because kids.
Because kids. Hey! Yeah. Woo!
It should be a little sweeter, hopefully.
It did smell really good.
Smells sweet.
Oh, I needed to put some orange on there, I think, didn't I?
Was that
Orange slice.
an orange
How
slice?
about we just shave this boy again?
We don't have time for this.
Let's do a clean shave here.
A clean shave. I was gonna try to catch it, but I'm not helping you. It's a very bald looking. Look at this pattern. That's awful. Why would you do it to that orange? Okay, so you're actually squeezing the juice out of the peeling into that drink.
Yeah, instead of
Okay.
just garnishing it with an orange slice.
Yeah, the
Those are
orange
two different
oils.
flavors.
If I was gonna
Okay.
express oils into this, I'd use lemon.
Add a little something to it.
Yep.
Drink it.
Drink it. It actually smells really, really good.
It does.
I don't fault her for peeling the orange, because when it says garnish with
I'm
an orange
not-
slice,
Sure. You're gonna like this one better than that one by a long shot.
does it mean an orange wheel, an orange wedge? What does that mean?
That might have been too much cherry.
You know.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit too much cherry. No, that's
Still good though.
of the two. That one's probably better. Yeah. She loves it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't fault her for peeling the orange there, because if someone just said if someone just said an orange slice, me personally, I would have gone with an orange wheel, but it could have been an orange wedge, and to say an orange slice, if you don't know about wedges or wheels, then who's to say what that what that could entail. So I don't fault her for peeling the orange there.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was not as bad as yeah, I honestly expected them to be kind of reversed, but neither of them did as bad as I expected.
Yeah, I will say, the sour, not great.
It wasn't?
No, I'm not a huge fan of sours to begin with, so I'm probably not the best person to give an opinion. But yeah, I mean, and I don't think that's the one that we ended up wasting because she was like, "I really don't like this." I'm like, "Yeah, me either." So just throw it away.
Yeah.
It was not that great. The old fashioned was fine. It was fine. It wasn't. If I would have ordered it at a bar, I would have been disappointed. Like I'll say, if I would have had someone order it for me, I would, or if someone make it for me, like, and I was paying the money, I'd be like, I don't know about this.
I'll tell you what, though, I make a killer rum old fashioned.
Rum old fashioned.
Yeah.
I have a friend who makes beer old fashions. It's gross.
What about a tequila old fashioned with beer?
Never had it.
It's a drink from Cyberpunk 2077.
Explains why I've never heard of it.
Yeah. It's the Johnny Silverhand is the name of it, which is Keanu Reeves' character.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a drink named after him in the game.
Appropriate.
Yeah. Well, it's a tequila old fashioned with a splash of cerveza. Is how it's said. But but that's a tequila old fashioned with beer. But I make a good rum old fashioned. It's rum and brown sugar. No, I'm sorry, not brown sugar. Brown sugar is a different one. Rum and maple syrup, and orange bitters, and
That sounds pretty good.
it's delicious. And then you don't garnish with a lemon like you normally sometimes would. You definitely use an orange peel. My old fashioned is typically orange bitters with a lemon peel, lemon twist, whatever. If I'm gonna garnish at all, but this one it has to be orange. So it's orange bitters, orange twist. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's delicious. But yeah, so it's actually perfect. If you look at the recording time, it says we've gone over because it says an hour and 16 minutes, but we didn't actually start the show until we've been recording for 16 minutes. So we've been pretty much exactly an hour.
Look at that.
So that's our hour. So I think we're doing good. To those people who were not able to watch and had to listen and had to guess what was going on, it may be even funnier for you. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'd have to listen and find out. I'll close my eyes.
Anyways, have fun. Bye.
Ooh.